Hello guys, Chan Uncle Mikey here. Welcome to another episode. Before I get started to talk about today's topic, I have a question to ask you guys. Recently, a video went viral on the Chinese social medias. The video name is called Arjo, my second uncles or something, literally in Chinese. It's got like tens of millions of the views from Bilibili, and a lot of people are talking about this video and commenting on this video, talking about some of the defects that this video is about. And my question is, are you guys interested in such kind of video? Because the reason that I'm asking this question is a lot of these kind of like Chinese stuffs, maybe it is interesting for the Mandarin audience, but maybe it's not that interested for the English speaking audience, because basically this video is kind of like positive energy video, and it talks about a disabled uncle who's cannot walking properly, and some kind of like tragedy you always see in the Chinese villages, and go through all this uncle's life. It's always lacking of money and not very pleasant living in China, basically. But in the end, it turns up to praise such kind of lifestyle. You have to be positive, to overcome all the difficulties in lifetime. This is basically the main talking point, or the values that this video wanna deliver to the audience, and this is also praised or promoted by the authorities. If you want to see my comments on the details of this video, maybe just leave your comments in the commentary section. That I will make another video, because sometimes these videos are not that well known, or it just not perform that good because nobody knows what you are talking about, right? The title is pretty hard to tell the people or the Western audience, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so today's topic is leaving China, fleeing China, escaping China, whatever you want to talk about. I talked about that months ago, but the situation isn't changed. So recently I found rumors. It's not proved by the official news or something, but YAOMING was caught by the Chinese people, because he is very eye-catching, tall guy, famous guy, and he was with his daughter in the airport and doing the PCR test. Always, ridiculous things. People are talking about YAOMING is leaving China, because for sure YAOMING is a party member, but for his daughter is a American citizen or something. So yeah, they have the reason to leave China. And I also saw news, or I also saw social medias are talking about YAOMING was just resigned from the Chinese Basketball Association, because he was, or he still is, I'm not really sure, but this is just some entertainment talking, right? He is a chairman of the Basketball Association in China. So once he resigned all these positions, maybe it is okay for him to go to America, or he is always okay to go to America, because he is a celebrity and he is very popular, and he got a good reputation actually in America when he played for the Houston Rockets, right? This is the point, right? Before go back to decades ago, when YAOMING was playing basketball, and during the Beijing Olympic Games especially, nobody was going to against these kind of people, right? Nobody is going to against China at all, right? But now things changing, the situation changing domestically and internationally. So now but for me, I think Yaoming it is okay because Yaoming was kind of like a good guy, and he is as the same age as our generation, right? He is kind of like open-minded, and his English is pretty good. He loves to, just you know behave like a normal human being. Because usually when you look back to decades ago, a lot of Chinese athletes went overseas, but they were not doing very well, except Fan Ziyi, right? Fan Ziyi was playing in Crystal Palace in England, and then later on, I think he moved to Dundee or something. But he was a kind of like a good football figure, and he's outgoing, but he can speak English pretty well. I mean, for the athletes, you have to understand the Chinese athletes are not very well educated, because through their childhood they always forced in the sports camp to do sports, rather than learning knowledge, rather than just to go through the ordinary education. So, they are all Shanghainese. So I'm Shanghainese. It's kind of like make a closer connection with them, and I am still very positive to those figures. But these guys are not, showing on the social media or on the media recently that frequent, and they still have to behave the party line, and they have to be careful, especially these days. You are not able to speak whatever you want, right? So I think this is the main reason for Yao Ming, especially. Yao Ming. When I was looking at Yao Ming's character in Houston Rocket, he's kind of like a character with humor, right? He loved to making fun with the others, with his team members. Forgive me, I can't remember their names, but yeah, I'm not a essential basketball fan, but I'm very positive about this guy. And but now he's turning into some kind of self-censored mood, or just to try to stay away from the media, to stay away from the problem. Anyway, so now you are seeing. I think it is reasonable for him to live in Shanghai, because the pandemic things is still there, right? Maybe the situation is a little bit better than months ago. When the full scale of the Shanghai city was in lockdown, and those brutal lockdowns and the crazy things happened in the last several months, and the shortage of food, and you are not allowed to get out of your doors. As my wife is still in Shanghai, so now you are allowed to get out, but the PCR test is still there. You still have to routinely do the PCR test. Without a PCR test, banded with your QR code, you are almost lost the accessibility to the public area or something. And some certain district in Shanghai is still in lockdown here and there, but the locking down time, maybe it is a little bit shorter than before. Before, maybe once one case found in your neighborhood, you have to stay in the door for 2 weeks. Now they change it to 3 or 5 days. So see that this is the change. But the zero COVID policy is not removed. It's always there. You don't know if it will be enforced or enhanced or whatever in the future, because I'm not totally negative to China. I can't say I'm pretty negative nowadays, because I see these things, these changes I make. But I really enjoyed, to visiting different part of the country, because China is a massive piece of land, right? It can take you lifelong to be able to see the different province, different city, or different villages. But nowadays, it is not a thing, actually, because if you want to travel from one place to another, yes, of course you can do it, but you have to always be careful about traveling, because you don't know which province or which territory is in some situation. Maybe when you first get there, it was okay, but maybe you are going to stay there for several weeks or something. Then things changed along the way. Then you are not able to get out of those places, right? Maybe you just want to spend 3 days or 5 days in one city. Once you get there, it's okay, it all looks cool, and people are on the street. But in the middle of this trip or this, stay, something happened. Then you are trapped in that place. Then you have to taking care of yourself in another place which is not your hometown, and you are not able to stay in your home at all. You have to spend money and energy to stay in the hotel. Sometimes hotel allows you to stay, sometimes not. It's really depending on the local government, right? So this is the main concern. If I got chance, to travel around China and show some interesting stuff in China, but this is not a thing at all at this moment or before the crazy COVID policy removed or something. Well, I don't see any sign that this kind of policy is going to be changed in the near future. Maybe after several years or something. I don't know if they are doing some like a social experiment or something, but this is definitely a big concern when people are now in China, right? Because in the name of a COVID protection or something, they can do whatever they want to you. This is ridiculous. It's not like here. It's just it's not, I mean, in Sweden, it's no longer a problem at all. Maybe people are talking about like monkeypox or this kind of nonsense, but it's not a big deal in lifetime. Look at this beautiful Swedish summer. A lot of people from other European countries are now visiting my little nice tiny town. I saw people driving, vehicles. What's that called? I always forgot the name of the vehicle. EV, sorry. From Germany, from Switzerland, from Denmark, and Norway to my Swedish town, and they just park their EV over there along the beach, because you got those plug-in to have the electricities and so and so. Just to have a nice sea view, right? But anyway, yeah. So let's continue the escaping China thing. Another case is the film director. His name is Zhang Yimou. Zhang Yimou is the one who directed this. The opening of the Beijing Olympic Games, right? He is very good at like virtual creativity or something, and people are now talking about Zhang Yimou is already left China to America for sure. All of them love America, right? But rich people are definitely, especially those elites, they always have some properties in America or Canada. It's ridiculous. Once they have some money, they just transfer it to America or something. Zhang Yimou was a guy. I think he was bad luck, because he has three children, right? But in the year 2013, Zhang Yimou was fined for 7.48 million or something, because he was breaking the one-child policy law, and he got a fine, a big fine, a very expensive fine. But I mean, he is rich; he can handle that. But just after maybe 3 years, the Chinese government changed the policy, allowing 2 kids or 3 kids. These kind of things, right? So, and yeah, and another lady, I call her lady because she is a transgender lady. her name is Jingxing, right? Jingxing is also a celebrity that I'm pretty, love to watch. Actually, she is a host of a talk show, host in the Shanghai television. So usually, 5 or 6 years ago, she was very actually critical, especially on the society issues on the television. But now things changing. Your freedom of speech is nibbling by the authority. You are not allowed to talk about this and that. No, you are not allowed to talk about that. Censorship is everywhere. You have to be very careful about anything that you touch. See what I mean? Because something, maybe you think it is okay to be a little bit critical, but you will never know. Some ridiculous guy is going to snitch you, or just to report you or whatever. I think once the Russian-Ukrainian war was just started, Jingxing was kind of like on the side of Ukrainian, and her Weibo account was totally blocked. These kind of things, right? So she is definitely understanding the whole situation, and she lived in France or the other countries for many years, and she is very brave actually. But now you see people are talking about Jingxing has already left China because there's no room for her to do any talk show on TV or talking about just some problems, or just to be a little bit critical to something, maybe just a mineral, like lying downism or something, right? Talking about lying downism, and talking about maybe the bad food quality or these kind of things, right? So yeah. Anyway, in conclusion, I think people before think China still has the room to live with are now leaving China. By the way, there was a guy, I just watched an article. There was a Shanghainese guy who sold his business for 20 million RMB and relocated him to USA. Because agree or not, having certain amount of fortune or your financial status is quite stable. If you are a middle upper class group of China, you still have the opportunity to leave China. Because before, maybe during the Shanghai lockdown period of time, people are not allowed to get out, but now it is changed a little bit. If you have resident card overseas, or you want to just to go, not for the tourism visa, but if you have a permanent resident, or you own some kind of card, or permission that you allowed you, or working permission that allowed you to live in the other countries, you can still live in China. And this is almost the majority of the people, especially Shanghainese, are doing. I don't have a figure or statistics for you, but this is definitely a lot of the researchers are talking about. For personally, I have friends, I talk many times, are all trying to arrange things, because it's not easy for middle-aged rich Chinese to move out if their language skills is not that good, or they have never experienced a overseas life. It's a big deal for them, because it's mostly they see it as a risk, because Chinese people are not very that kind of like love adventure, taking risks, especially in their early age. Chinese people are trapped as sheep. They are trapped in one place. They are not even always love to explore their own country. If you ask some Shanghainese girls, do you want to go to Anhui province or something? Most of them don't want to go because they think like Anhui is poorer than Shanghai or something, right? So these kind of things. But anyway, I think this is basically what I'm talking about. I think the situation is going to be on and on and on. It won't change. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in next video.